Hello here, it's Glenn from I Train Hard Health and Fitness. Welcome to day number 8 of my YouTube blogging challenge. I've blogged about all sorts so far, and today's blog is about weight loss. No surprise there, I guess you imagine. However, I specialise in ladies' weight loss, and today's blog is all about weight loss for men. In particular, men over 30, 40 and onwards. Now actually, weight loss for men is pretty easy compared to women. So as I mentioned, I normally specialise in ladies' weight loss, for ladies above 30 years of age, and they have all raft of issues going on with them, with the female hormone, sarcopenia, which is muscle loss as you get older, and the menopause. So ladies have a harder time, us men have it pretty easy. However, we still can put on weight when we get to a certain age, and I think a lot of men will understand. You start getting that, I haven't got one, but you start getting that tire, that belly, that beer belly, that old man's gut. And I know it's not good for your confidence, not good for your self-esteem. So what I'm going to talk about here is just 2 simple things you can do for a man above 30 or 40 and onwards to keep yourself in good shape. And actually there's no reason why you can't get a six-pack at 30, 40 and 50 as long as you follow a couple of simple rules. Now, as we get older, for guys and women, something called sarcopenia happens. And sarcopenia is basically muscle wastage as we get older. Now, it can start from about 25, but more normally about 30 onwards. You start losing muscle year on year. When you get to 40 and 50, that snowballs and it becomes even bigger. So you lose all of your muscle. Now, if we think of muscle as metabolism, and actually as fat loss. So the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn, and the less muscle you have, the less fat you burn. So it makes absolute sense that we want to stop the muscle wastage. Now we can do that because we do lose muscle year on year past 30. What we've got to try and do, or keep doing, or increase, is throwing some weight around. So yep, that's the first thing you want to look at. If you don't already do it, throw some weight around. Now you want to look at doing the big muscle groups, because some muscles burn more fat than others. So bicep, quite a small thing there, burns a lot less calories than, for example, your legs. So throw some weight around, go to the gym, throw some heavy weight around, and look at concentrating on the bigger muscle groups. So probably in order of importance, legs, back, and then chest. So work all of your muscles, by all means, but make sure you have a good leg day, a good back day, and good chest. So work on them 3 muscle groups the most, because they're the biggest muscles, and therefore they burn more of the fat, and they keep your belly getting smaller and smaller, and they give you a bigger chance of getting a nice flat belly, regardless of what your age. So weights are super important. We want to do some cardio as well, or some cardio-based stuff. Now, slow cardio by now has been proven to be less effective at burning fat. It used to be called fat burning training in the olden days, but now we understand that more short, sharp blasts, interval training, Tabata, have a bigger, more profound effect on our metabolism, and they burn more fat for the time after you train. Now, interval training doesn't have to be on a track doing short and sharp sprints. It can be using bodyweight exercises. You could time yourself doing press-ups, sit-ups, any sort of exercise you want. That could be interval training too. It basically means doing something fast and something slow. Lots of it, get out of breath, have a huge effect on your heart and lungs, and a huge effect on your muscles as well. So as well as throwing some weights around, just do some interval training. And I would suggest, of importance, the weights are the most important thing. Throw some weights, put some muscle back on, then to help you get a trimmer and improve some of your fitness, do some interval training as well. That's number 1, that's the first tip. So only 2 tips here. Number 1 is the fitness you want to do is get back into throwing some weights around. And the second tip is to do with nutrition. Now, I'm sure we can all remember when we were young, we could eat what we want and not put any weight on. Still walk around with a 6-pack, don't train that much, and eat loads of stuff. Now again, when you get older, we get sarcopenia, muscle loss, but loads of other stuff's going on in our body as well. And our body becomes less effective at using carbohydrates as fuel. So carbs is the rule of thumb for carbs is if it grows out the ground, pretty much it's carbs. So look at all your pastas, rice, fruit, vegetables, salads, breads, all that stuff, that's all carbs. So bearing in mind your body's less effective at using carbs as fuel, so you put the same amount of food in you've been eating since you're 18, and that same amount of carbs you're putting in, more and more of that is getting stored as fat. So it makes sense as we get older not to reduce your food intake. We're not suggesting that whatsoever. We want to try and reduce your carb intake. So that means increasing protein. Now it's good to increase protein anyway, because as I mentioned before, you're going to be working out, throwing some weights around, doing resistance training, doing weights. And because you're doing that, you need more protein to repair damaged muscles and help them grow bigger, they burn more calories, you get thinner, you get more toned. But the protein as well, we want to get more protein in our food. Now a lot of people I talk to in the gym and lots of PT clients and women I chat to either don't have breakfast or have cereal for breakfast. So this tip here then, because I've just already mentioned that our body is less effective at using carbs as fuel, so you want to reduce the amount of carbs and increase the amount of protein. Now, rather than working out how many grams you need per person per pound, a good and easy rule of thumb is just to have protein with every meal. In actual fact, make protein the main part of every meal. So protein then, meats, so all meats, fish, eggs, dairy, that sort of stuff is protein based. So try and make every meal, when you think about creating your 3 meals a day or 4, however many meals you have, think about it as doing the protein first, whatever protein you're going to have on your plate, whether it be eggs for breakfast, fish for lunch, then a beefy steak for tea. Think of that as your 3 main meals first of all. Think of the protein first and then add your carbs to it. Now the carbs you want to add to it are not rice, not pasta, not loads of stacks of potatoes. Try and add nice leafy, dark coloured vegetables, different coloured salads. Add that to your meals. So look at your meals as in protein. Don't think of them